Hey everybody, welcome to T. Roy Cooks, and welcome to another Thursday Chatting with Troy. This is episode 60. Appreciate all of you who have helped me by asking questions, and if you have a question for me, just ask it in the comments section down beneath the video. And if you're interested in any of the products or YouTubers I may mention, or the questions in this episode and we're at in the video they're asked and answered, just hit the show more button beneath the video, and that'll open the description box. You can find all kind of great information in there. Appreciate you going in there and checking it all out. Today's beer. This is Killing Time by the Brazos Valley Brewing Company out of Brenham, Texas. That's where they make Bluebell ice cream. I don't think I've tried this one, Killing Time. I don't think I've tried this one before. We're going to check it out today. The questions from today's episode were asked last week on Thanksgiving Day. Oh, hope all of y'all had a safe and happy Thanksgiving as well here in the U.S. We had a fantastic Thanksgiving, really did. Whole family got together. Cheers to everybody out there. It's supposed to be a blonde ale. Slightly hoppy. Smooth drinker though. It's 5.5% alcohol. You don't really taste it. So anyway, I've got just over a page of questions. Y'all didn't ask a whole lot of questions last week, and I need to kind of keep this episode a little short. So let's get down to it. Let's see what kind of questions you got for me this week. First question, it's my buddy Brian. He's got a YouTube channel, Smoked Reb Barbecue. Y'all go check him out. Again, link down below. What you got for me, Brian? He says, Troy, thanks for the Cajun and Creole discussion. I'm moving to Louisiana, and I sure do need an education on the different types of barbecue down there. Cheers, brother. Hey, cheers to you. Appreciate that, Brian. Barbecue in Louisiana. Louisiana is not really known for its barbecue. You can find pretty much any of the beef and pork products that you would find anywhere else, except maybe tri-tip. I don't know if they have tri-tip down there yet. They do a lot of seafood cooking and Cajun and Creole, like I mentioned last week. But barbecue on a grill or a smoker, if they're smoking something, it's usually andouille sausage or some kind of other sausage. They smoke pork, what they call tasso. It's actually pork butt that they slice and then heavily season with some Cajun spices. And they smoke that, kind of dry it out like a jerky. And they use that in their red beans and sausage. They use it to flavor their greens. You know, if they're cooking up some mustard and turnip greens. They use it as a flavoring agent. They don't really eat it. But, you know, there is one place there that I know that I go to, and they do make some excellent tasso as pork, you know. And I do eat that. It's like jerky. So I've made it before, man. If you're not sure about what I'm talking about, check out my pork tasso video. I'll put it up here for you. And yeah, barbecue though. It's like growing up. When I thought of barbecue, what I thought of was putting something on the grill like a steak, you know, kind of like my mates down in Australia do. You know, they call the barbecue pit a barbecue. If they shrimp on the barbie, stuff like that. You know, it's not really smoked meats. So there's quite a difference, man. But you know, bring your smokers down there, enlighten them, show them what some good barbecue tastes like, man. I'm sure you have a healthy following if you do that down there. You know, the people in the area, wherever you're moving to. But yeah, man, Louisiana's cool. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you have a safe trip and a safe move to Louisiana. Appreciate the question, Brian. Next question. This comes from Dave. How you doing, Dave? He goes by the name Golden's Domain. He says, "Hey, Troy, cheers from Canada." Cheers to you, Dave. Appreciate that. He says, I see so many people posting videos on cooks in their Weber kettles where their grill grates are shiny new. While I clean my grates with every cook, I've never been able to get them that clean. This brings up two questions. Is there some magic to cleaning the grates that well, and is cleaning that well even necessary? Cheers, Dave. Yeah, cheers again to you, Dave. Appreciate that, man. And cheers to the rest of you. I know JB puts his grill grates in the dishwasher, and that'll clean them up and make them pretty shiny. You can also just get a scouring pad, you know, some SOS pads or whatever, you know, the Brillo pads. That'll shine them up real good too. I don't usually go that far though. I usually just heat my grill grate on the pit, on the cooker, and once it gets warmed up real good, you know, 10-15 minutes after being in the heat, I'll just take a brush and, you know, scrape it and get all the barbecue and seasonings off of the grill grate, you know. I don't really like cleaning my grates that much. I find that when you do clean them so that they're squeaky clean and shiny again, the food tends to stick to it. So you usually have to spray it down with some kind of a grease, or rub some oil on it with a paper towel or something, you know, to keep the food from sticking to the grill grate. Whereas if you just let that carbon build up on the grill grate by not cleaning it so heavily, you'll build a non-stick surface on the grill grate, and you won't need to oil it every time. So that's how I do it. Great question though, appreciate it, man. Next question is from Frozen Winter 84. Appreciate the question. He says, greetings from Minnesota. New subscriber here. Apologies if this has been covered in a previous Q&A. I'm a home brewer who's gotten into smoking on an offset. Cool, man, cool. He says, nothing fancy, just a char griller offset. Hey, that'll work, man, that'll work. He says, I'd like to find ways to incorporate some of my home beer into my cooking. What are your thoughts on using beer like stouts or IPAs to baste or spritz meat while it's smoking? Love the show, keep them coming. I appreciate that, and cheers to you. I think dark beer like stouts and stuff work really, really well with beef. You can definitely spritz it, or even if you want, have like a wet marinade and then marinate the meat overnight or something, you know, at least 6 to 8 hours. But you can definitely do that. Your IPAs and stuff, those would be more, I think, for pork or chicken. You know what though? I did some chicken one time. I marinated some chicken in a stout. I think it was a Guinness stout one time. That chicken turned out fabulous, man. Really, really good. And it gave the meat like a dark, dark color too. I think I marinated it overnight or something. But it was good stuff. Yeah, you can definitely, you know, use beer as your marinade or spritz on pretty much any meat, you know. That's the fun thing. I keep telling y'all, cooking is fun. That's one of the fun aspects of cooking. Trying out new stuff, seeing how it pairs with the different meats and stuff that you're cooking. It's fun, you know. Sometimes I've created some of the best meals that me and Karen have ever eaten just by testing stuff, you know. And it's fortunate that I have some of that stuff on video for you folks, because I actually can go back and look at the video and see how I did that cook, you know. Man, I made something the other day. I can't remember what it was. What the heck was it? Oh, I know what it was. I made some turkey. It was turkey soup, but it was like a tortilla soup. Okay. Instead of using chicken, I used turkey. Some of the leftover turkey from Thanksgiving. And man, I wish I would have filmed it, because that was excellent. It was really, really, really good, man. But I didn't film it. So I'd have to try to remember what I did instead of being able to go back and watch it on video. Anyway, that's the cool thing too about having these videos, man. I can always go back and, like I said, look and see what I did. Excuse me. Appreciate the question. Next one is from Jamie Satterley. How you doing, Jamie? Long time sub. He says, hey Troy, cheers, man. Cheers, Jamie. Cheers. Appreciate it. Jamie says, wondering if you've ever done any cast iron cooking, for example, in a Dutch oven, a skillet, or etc. Cheers, man. Jamie, man, yeah. Dude, I'm from Louisiana, you know, Baton Rouge. I love cooking in cast iron. I've got a Dutch oven. I've got skillets. I've even got one of those camping Dutch ovens that have little metal feet on the bottom of it, and you can put coals on, you know, charcoal briquettes on the on top of the lid and under it. So I need to use that more often. Yeah, I've got all kind of Karen, you know, is running out of space in our cabinet stuff, in our cabinet area in our kitchen, because I got so much cast iron. And Karen likes the cast iron that's porcelain coated or enamel coated. So she has a lot of that. And you'll see the like the Le Creuset stuff that we have, the different colored Dutch ovens and pot pans and skillets and whatnot. Those are excellent, but they're enamel coated. Just regular old cast iron, black, seasoned really well. Man, you talking about make some excellent bacon, cornbread. I do hamburger steaks in it. The only thing I wouldn't use cast iron for is to like make spaghetti, because the spaghetti sauce itself, the red sauce, it'll kind of eat away at the coating if you leave that in the iron skillet too long. And anything that's really kind of acidic, you don't want to use your cast iron for. But everything else, it goes, man. That's some excellent. That turns out some of the best gravies and gumbos, even like jambalaya and stuff. Golly, man, that's good stuff. And just smelling bacon cooking in a cast iron skillet. Oh, I love that smell, man. I love that smell. Cheers to you, Jamie. Thanks for the question, man. Got me hungry over here talking about all that. Next question is from Wade Meeker. He says, "Hey, Troy. Wade, Boss Hog here in Illinois. Love the videos. I watch Star Trek while I'm smoking up something. What's your favorite Star Trek generation? I'm an original and a next gen fan." Yeah, cool, man. Cool. Yeah, I do like my Star Trek. I'm more of an original series kind of guy. I like them all. I watch them all, but if I had my druthers, I'd say the original series. You know, I wish it would have went like 5, 6 years, 7 years, but there was only like 3 years of it. But it was I like the old stuff like that. It's funny seeing some of the technology that they used. You know, some of the heck, man, I had a brain fart. Their phasers, their communicators, the tricorders, all that stuff is here today. You know, so they were far ahead of their time. Gene Roddenberry was a great writer and very inspirational. Some of the ideas he had. So yeah, I'm trying to think though. Star Trek. You know, I'll start talking about Star Trek. Can't even talk. Also like Babylon 5, Farscape, all that kind of stuff. You know, part of me wants to be an astronaut, I think, or an explorer out in space. I think that'd be fun. But I'm an original guy. That's what I like. But all of them are great. I like the ones with Picard too. I think, yeah, Jim Kirk and Picard are my favorite two captains. Okay. Next question is from Edgar Martinez. How you doing, Edgar? Or Martinez, I'm sorry, man. He says, "Hey, Troy, I recently bought a Traeger pellet grill, and I'm going to do a whole brisket. My questions are, do I put it fat cap up or fat cap down?" I would say on a Traeger pellet, you probably want to go fat cap down. And I say that because the heat's mainly coming from the bottom. Those Traegers are usually not that big, so you got a concentration of heat down in the bottom. I mean, if you find a way to get most of the heat to go from the top, then you can do it fat cap up. Basically what I'm saying is put your fat cap towards the heat. We know if the heat's coming from under the brisket, put the fat cap down. If the heat's coming from like all around the brisket or from the top, put a fat cap up. That's my thinking on it. He says, also, do I wrap it or no? If so, at what temp? Or do I go based on color? Thank you. Huge fan, by the way. I appreciate that, Edgar. I usually do not wrap brisket. The only time I will is if I've got a stubborn brisket and it's just taking a lot longer than I'd planned and I've got a party or something that I'm needing it cooked. Then I'll probably wrap it at the stall, usually around 160 Fahrenheit, somewhere in that, give or take 5 or 10 degrees. It's usually when it hits the stall, that's when I'll wrap. And usually by the time it hits the stall, you've got a really nice color on the brisket as well. And talking about wrapping, Justin and I have been doing some testing, and we both like butcher paper wrap better than foil wrapped, because it still lets the smoke into the brisket, and you get that kind of a steaming effect, but not true steaming like it would be in a foil wrap. Some of the heat, some of the moisture can escape or be absorbed by the butcher paper. So we just like butcher paper, but man, 99% of the time, I'm not wrapping. Injecting, you can inject with butter, melted butter, or some kind of beef stock. I don't know if I'd use beef broth. Beef broth has salt in it usually, unless you get a low sodium one. But you can definitely inject it with some beer. Woo. Oh, somebody asked me, can't remember who it was, which of you asked me this, but one of you were asking me about if I've done a stuffed brisket. I personally have not. It sounds curious, though. It'd be something I'd be willing to try. So my question is for you guys. Have any of you ever stuffed a brisket? And if so, would you stuff it with? How did it turn out? Did you have to do anything different with the cook? So give me some feedback on that. I'd appreciate it. I'm seriously thinking about doing that. Anyway, thanks, Edgar. I appreciate that. I hope that answered all your questions, man. Next question is from B. Kramer. He says, I cooked a pork butt last weekend and noticed that it came out almost too moist. Has that ever happened to you? Yeah, it has. I mean, each piece of meat's different. I mean, some, like briskets, you know, some briskets are dry, some are juicier than all get out. Same with pork butts, man. Usually, though, I find that when that's happened to me, it's because I wrapped it in foil and or injected it. Or if I've overcooked it and the pork is kind of like mushy almost, it's almost overcooked. But yeah, it's happened once or twice, not too often, but I bet it has a lot to do with whether you injected it or if it was just the cut of, you know, the pig that it came from, basically. So anyway, cheers to you, man. Ain't nothing wrong with a moist pork butt, though. Next question is from Games and Grills. Y'all go check him out. He's got a YouTube channel, folks. I'll put the link down below. He says, hey, Troy, cheers, brother. Cheers, my brother. He does cooking and gaming on his channel. So if you're into gaming and cooking and stuff, go check him out. I'm trying a new mic setup here today, too. I've got a, I'll actually show you if I can. I don't know if I can or not. I probably can't, but no, I can't. Anyway, I got a, it's a Yamaha soundboard. It's MG10XU. So I'm running my mics through that and then to my camera. We're checking it out. I'm sorry for the strong light. The sun's not far from setting over here. Plus, I'm almost done. I think I got one more question after this one. He says, let's see. You mentioned quite a while ago about having a drone, a Yuneek Typoon, I think you said. Yeah, it is. That's a big bird too, man. Powerful. I like that Yuneek, but he says, how often do you get out and fly? I just upgraded my drone and I fly it all the time. Thanks as always, brother. Hey, thank you. Appreciate the support. And again, y'all go check him out. Games and Grills. Is that right? Yeah, Games and Grills. I don't get to fly mine too often. I've got a lot of like small, like a business airport. I've got a airport not far from here where they train people on Cessnas and stuff, how to fly, and helicopters. Plus we got the, well, I'm pretty good ways from the Austin International Airport. But I've got a lot of smaller airports in the area. Plus, you know, honestly, around here, I mean, I've got not just the drone, the Yuneek that I've got. I've also got some planes, some airplanes. And it's just really windy. I mean, I don't know if you can see back here behind me, but there's always a constant 5, 10, 15 mile an hour breeze coming through here, which I'm fortunate that is because it helps with flies and mosquitoes. But it makes it difficult to fly a lot of the time. Sometimes on a still day, or you know, 5 mile an hour wind or something, I can get out there and fly a little bit, but I've got to kind of get out in the country, away from the city. But it's fun. I like doing that. Appreciate the question, man. Next one is from Chris. Okay, I guess you're from Oklahoma, maybe? Says, hey, Troy, love the videos. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the support. He says, I got a question. I'm using the Oklahoma Joe offset smoker. Cool, man, cool. He says, I'm getting a lot of soot on my turkeys when I smoke them. Ooh, that ain't good. Any suggestions would be helpful. Thanks, man. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that, Chris. And cheers to you. So what causes soot on your meat? Over smoking the meat. You don't have good airflow. You don't have proper airflow in your offset. You need to either open the intake or you need to open the exhaust. If that still doesn't do it, partially open the door on your firebox. Let more air in there. And you know, if your exhaust is wide open. But that's the cause of it. You're not getting good proper airflow through there. You need to get more air flowing through there so that smoke isn't lingering around on the bird too long. And make sure you've got a nice coal bed and your wood is on fire, not smoldering. Okay? And take that for some advice, and I hope that will help you. I think it will. Okay? Folks, I apologize for the short session today, the short episode, but y'all just didn't ask me a lot of questions last time. So we'll keep going. Next week we'll see y'all again. I hope y'all stop by Tuesdays and watch some cooking shows. I've got a good one coming up. I'm doing some sous vide, so y'all stay tuned for that. And I'm cooking on cast iron. All right, we'll see y'all next week, though. Y'all check out the description box. Just hit show more. Show some love to those YouTubers I mentioned. Thanks again for all the questions, and thanks for helping me get to 75,000 subscribers. I appreciate each and one of you for helping me get there, okay? Appreciate it very much. Y'all like this? Give me some thumbs up. Hope you share the video. And when you do, please tell all your friends that T-Roy cooks responsibly. Cheers, everybody.